These people are just idiots. I really, I'm at the point where it's become really hard to have an intellectual debate with any of these people. Because
I have no worry. I don't know how they take away my citizenship and like deport me, but it's qofka Soomaaliga ah waa qof cadow sare ah. Alxamdulillah waxaan rajaynayaa aniga iyo ilmahayga in aan hadde ku barbaariyo iyagana ilmahooda ay ku barbaariyaan dhulkii aniga aan ku soo koray.
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country.
It reminds me of the way the Nazis described Jewish people.
Seriously, Ilhan Omar just won't quit bashing the nation she promised to represent. She escaped Somalia, received refuge in America, and now dedicates herself to criticizing our country while defending her native land's agenda. We need an honest discussion about patriotism and immigration policy. When jihadi terrorism comes up, she immediately shifts blame to white men. Textbook misdirection. She never confronts the actual dangers.
Threats. A legitimate fear, they say, of quote-unquote jihadist terrorism, whether it's Fort Hood or San Bernardino or the recent truck attack in New York. What do you say to that?
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country. And so if fear was the driving force of policies to keep America safe, Americans safe inside of this country, we should be profiling, monitoring, and creating policies to fight the radicalization of white men.
She embraces that jihadist mindset. How foolish I was to expect her condemnation. Get this, she actually claims the third world nation she fled is superior to America. And the immigration fraud situation? Don't even ask. How does someone like her remain in our country?
Anigu waan ahay gabar Mareykanka laga doortay oo Congressska Mareykanka ku jirto. Laakiin waxaan ahay gabar Soomaaliyeed. Gabar idinku jinsi ah, gabar idinku af ah, gabar idinku diin ah, oo hadde qof iyadoo da'yar waddankeedii laga kaxeeyo wili xiise u qabto in maalin waddankeedii ay ku noolaato.
She openly admits missing Somalia and wanting to return. If those are her true feelings, why remain here complaining constantly? Nobody's stopping her from leaving.
In aan hadde ku barbaariyo iyagana ilmahooda ay ku barbaariyaan dhulkii aniga aan ku soo koray. Taasna haddii ay suurtagelayso waa hadda shaqo badan inaan wada qabanaa hadduu Ilaahay yiraahdo oo aan ka dhignaa dhulkeena dhul barwaaqadiisa dadka oo dhan ay dareemi karaan oo ay arki karaan oo ay ka wada faa'iideysan.
There she is on CBS labeling Stephen Miller a Nazi while comparing Somalis to the Irish and Italians who constructed this country. Are you kidding me? Genuine immigrants embrace American values and appreciate this nation instead of attacking it.
I want to ask you about something else that the architect of the president's immigration policy, Stephen Miller, said. On Thanksgiving Day, he posted, "No magic transformation occurs when failed states cross borders. At scale, migrants and their descendants recreate the conditions and terrors of their broken homelands." What do you make of this argument of failure to assimilate and sort of ruining America? How do you understand this?
I mean, when I think about Stephen Miller and his white supremacist rhetoric, it reminds me, yes, it reminds me of the way the Nazis described Jewish people in Germany. And you know, as we know, there have been many immigrants who've tried to come to the United States who've turned back, one of them being Jewish immigrants. We know the way that people were described who were coming from Ireland, Irish immigrants. We know the way in which people were described back then when they were Italian immigrants. And to me, you know, we're yes, of course, ethnically Somali. We are in this country as Americans.
Yeah.
We are citizens. We are productive part of this nation, and we will continue.
Somalis have always been viewed as woven into America's identity. Sure they have. Most citizens observe the complete opposite, refusal to assimilate and perpetual controversy.
Somalis are not terrorizing this nation. We are helping it thrive. Somalis have always seen themselves as a fabric of this nation. So not only are we not going anywhere, we are not going to allow anybody to make us feel less Minnesotan or less American.
It's empty rhetoric. Watch what she actually does. She brings her Somali clan conflicts as if she's still in Mogadishu rather than representing constituents in Congress. This footage is devastating. She's passionately arguing on the House floor about Somali tribal feuds and clan politics like she's debating in Somalia's capital instead of serving Minnesota in the U.S. Congress. It's hard to witness. This screams Somalia first, definitely not America first.
At all. waa qof cadow sare ah dadkaasoo kaleetana magaaladayna nolol dhex nool yihiin waan aragnaa anagoo dhan qaar waxaa jiro aan dhahno qofkan wuu iska hadlaa micno ma leh kanina adeerkay waaye biliis waxa dhihin waxaa laga yaabaa ka fishaabyaalkeen waa taqaaniin dadkan ka hadlaayo starbucks-ka la fadhiistiin maybe masaajidka marmar inuu imaadaana laga yaabaa xafladaha isla tagtiin waa taqaaniin dadkan ka hadlaa inuu gurigaan la deganahay waa aragtiin dadkaas iska qabta meel ma gaareen anaga Soomaali hadii aan nahay inta dadkaas ay nagu dhex jiraan oo aanan dhahaynin qofkaanaytii hana dhaafo dadka aan difaacna annaga kuwa annaga rabo maalin Ilaahay keeno in xabsina la geliyo maalin Ilaahay keeno been naga abuuro maalin Ilaahay keeno video yaal af Soomaali aanan dhihin soo sheego waxba aan soo sheegnay oo meel hadhoodii aad ka galaysid male ileen maanta oo dhan ma taagnaan kartid ma dhihi kartid aniga hadalkan kuma hadlin because shaqaan noo taala anaga waa shaqaynoynaa idinka idin difaacoynaa waddankaanaan difaacoynaa sharciye aan suubinoynaa maanta oo dhan kuma soo taagnaan karno videogaaneyti aniga hadalkaan ma dhihin maanta oo dhan meel nala taagnaan karno taas idinka idin taala inaadan soo dhawaysanin dadkaas maalin Ilaahay keeno ka shaqaynaya sida Soomaalida waddankan ku nool ay wax ku noqoneen.
She publicly declares opposition to anyone attempting integration, stating explicitly that this represents pure Somali allegiance above all. She verbalizes it directly. Her congressional role is protecting Somalia's agenda from within our government. That's not American patriotism. That's foreign interference.
Annaga haddii aan nahay dad Soomaali ah waxaan nahay dad isjecel waa laga yaabaa meelaha qaarkood inaan isku xagxaganno laakiin haddii runtii ay imaato waxaan nahay dad isku tashto dad walaalo ah dad dhiig lah dad isku og inay Soomaali yihiin inay Muslim yihiin oo iyagana isku hiiliya dadka walaalahoodna u hiiliya marka daraad markii ayaan dhaxdaas markii aan maqalnay in qaar Soomaali ah ama Soomaali sheegato in Ethiopia ay la galeen ma baqaan af Soomaali wixii lagu dhaho agreement heshiis محمود نور هذا أنا كصومالي كبدي صعب معها. dad badan ay soo wacay oo waxay leeyihiin ilhaan dawladda Mareykanka in aan la hadashid waaye dawladda Mareykanka maxay ka qabanaysaa jawaabteedu waxay ahayd dawladda Mareykanka waxay ka qabanaysaa wixii annaga aan dhahno dawladda Mareykanka qabo waa kalsoonidaas in aan isku qabno annaga Soomaali hadii aan nahay waddankan annaga ku nool waddankan waddankii aan annaga tax ka dhiibno waaye waa waddankii gabar idinka dhalatayne ee Congress-ka fadhiso intii aniga aan Congress joogo waddanka Soomaaliya biyaheeda dad kaleeta iyo badeeda dad kale ma qaadanayaan waddanka Mareykankana kuma taageerayo dad kaleeta in annaga ayna dhacaan marka taas ka seexda reer Minnesota gabadhii Congress u dirsateen way idinka warhaysaa sidaad idinka u dareemaysiin dantaas ay u dareemay.
She views the United States as an instrument for advancing this third world failed state. And when fraudulent activity emerges in her Minnesota district, she dismisses it with justifications.
Shed any light on why the fraud got so out of control in Minnesota?
I think what happened is that, when you have these kind of new programs that are designed to help people, you're oftentimes relying on third parties to be able to facilitate.
And I just think that a lot of the COVID programs that were set up, they were set up so quickly that a lot of the guardrails did not get created.
Rationalizing enormous Somali daycare fraud by claiming programs were implemented hastily. No genuine remorse, no ownership, merely feeble justifications.
In that the money that they had stolen going to terrorism, then that is a failure of the FBI and our court system in not figuring that out and basically charging them.
Fox News contributor Mary Catherine Ham joins us now. It is, interesting that she doesn't mention all the associates connected to her campaign worker, and places where she hosted her campaign parties at as well, MK.
Yeah, there also wasn't a denial. That felt like sort of a tell to me. I think she knows much more about all of this than she's let on the whole time. As you allude to, she has plenty of associates, close friends, allies who were enriching themselves off of $250 million defrauded from one program alone, maybe $1 billion in the state. And this is money that would have gone to children being fed, the homeless being housed, and did not. That's what the compassion adds up to. But the fact is that a lot of people were making a ton of money off of this, and she just wants to lay it off on someone else. But ma'am, you're in charge. You're in charge of the district. You're in charge of making federal law and should be interested in checking where federal money is going, especially when it's supposed to go to the compassionate services that you're supposed to be all about. But that's not the situation here, and I think it's true for Tim Walz as well as Keith Ellison, who's on audio, on tape, saying to the folks who defrauded Feeding Our Future, saying, I'll help you out with this. Let's get you out of this investigation. Like, these people were in on it.
It's identical behavior, evading difficult questions like when asked to denounce Sharia law violations.
Your second question is an appalling question because I always feel like there are bills that we vote on, bills we sponsor, many statements we put out, and then we're in a panel like this, and the question is posed, could you and Rashida do this? And it's like, how often should I make a schedule? Like, does this need to be on repeat every 5 minutes? Should I be like, so today I forgot to condemn Al-Qaeda. So here's the Al-Qaeda one. Today I forgot to condemn FGM, so here it goes. Today I forgot to condemn Hamas, so here it goes. Today I forgot, it is a very frustrating question. It comes up. You can look at my record. I voted for bills doing exactly what you're asking me to do. I have put out statements upon statements. There's a bill in Congress, there's a resolution that I am the co-author of that I voted out of the Foreign Affairs Committee. And so I am, I think, quite disgusted, really, to be honest, that as Muslim legislators, we are constantly being asked to waste our time speaking to issues that other people are not asked to speak to, because the assumption exists is that we somehow support and are for, right? No, there is an assumption. So I want to make sure that the next time someone is in an audience and is looking at me and Rashida and Abdul and Sam, that they ask us the proper questions that they will probably ask any member of Congress.
She becomes completely defensive and won't condemn practices like FGM or terrorist organizations, Al-Qaeda, Hamas. Absolutely no denunciation. That's frightening. Rather than addressing legitimate terrorism concerns, she deflects aggressively. She labels Trump voters as unintelligent people incapable of rational discussion, claims his election proves America is becoming intellectually inferior.
Down.
These people are just idiots. I really, I'm at the point where it's become really hard to have an intellectual debate with any of these people, because the level of stupidity that they are displaying every single day is frankly embarrassing, not just in Congress, but as Americans. And the fact that these people are allowed to say just the most ridiculous things tells you that the dumbing of the United States has arrived, because how else do we get a Trump presidency?
and essentially despises our freedom of expression. The hypocrisy is astounding. Immediately after insulting millions of Americans, observe her instantly adopting the victim role.
It is important for us to hold a mirror. There are so many people that are pretending the words that Charlie said don't exist. The way he made black women feel when he said we didn't have brain processing power to thought processing power to get ourselves into college and to be taken seriously as professionals, or as a black person, if you were a pilot and he walked on that plane, he'd be scared. These are actual words that this man has said, and I can't even begin. We will be here all day if I told you all of the things he has said about Muslims and immigrants and the trans community. He had hate for so many people, and he mocked the death of George Floyd. You know, this is not somebody I am going to sit back and say had a great legacy of bringing people together, because he did the opposite. And it is important, while we mourn his death and condemn his assassination and feel empathy for his kids and wife, we are not here to whitewash what he did while he was alive.
And no one is saying that you have to whitewash what he did, or that you have to defend what he said or the views that he held. But regardless of those views, do you believe the timing of saying that the day after that he was assassinated, the comments there, do you regret the timing of those comments?
Now suddenly she's offended by Charlie Kirk's intelligence remarks after just calling everyone stupid. Even Caitlin Collins on CNN appears troubled by this blatant contradiction. Here's where she finally faces humiliation.
That is what people are asking.
I'm certainly not asking that, but
that is what people are asking. People are asking and are getting fired for sharing Charlie's words.
Well, and some people were celebrating it. That was part of it. But
I haven't seen that. I've just seen people sharing his words.
There was a town hall that you had 6 days ago. You called Kirk a quote, hateful man, and you had reposted a video that I'm sure you've seen, you've taken criticism for. It's a video that called him a reprehensible human being and said, Kirk was Dr. Frankenstein and his monster shot him through the neck. Why repost that video?
Because there were a lot of things in the video that I did agree with. Obviously, we share videos. We don't have to agree with every single word. But I do believe he was a reprehensible, hateful man. Like, that is my view of the words that he has said about every single identity that I belong to. He didn't believe that we should have equal access to anything. He also just didn't even believe I could be smart enough. I could have thoughts that could be equal to a white man. Where are we missing this conversation about who this man was and the things that he said? How do you not find that reprehensible?
That says it all. Ilhan Omar revealed attempting to claim victimhood while spreading anti-American rhetoric and contradictions. This isn't genuine leadership. It's treachery. America deserves priority. Protect our borders, demand accountability, and elect true patriots to positions of power. We've had enough. Time for real transformation.
As her corruption is coming wide open in public, people are getting pissed off and showing their anger.
ICE cannot be reformed. It cannot be rehabilitated. We must abolish ICE for good. And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem face impeachment. I don't know. I need a napkin to know nothing. No, we will continue.
No. Ilhan, you need to go get checked. No,
we will continue this. We're not going to get away with it.
You need to go get checked. No, I don't know what. That's whatever it is smells so bad. She needs to go get checked. I don't know what that was.
That's what they want. Please don't let them know.
It's not about him, Ilhan. It's not about him. It's about your safety. No, he sprayed something on you. You need to go get checked.
There, too.
Yeah, and it smells terrible.
We're gonna keep talking. Just give me 10 minutes.